guys, Professor Yerby here again. If you're watching this video, again, you should be in my network security course, and this is Learning Module 2. So to get started in this learning module, we're going to talk about some different types of bad things for your computer. Some malware, right? So these are different types of malicious software that are intended to harm your computer. So I'll go through and quickly give kind of a list of some of the different malwares, right? So it's a general term that refers to a wide variety of annoying or damaging software. So the big three types, we have viruses. A virus is usually contained within a computer. There's usually some sort of executable to install a virus. There are worms. Worms are things that are connected in a network and they're intended to spread. And then there are Trojans. And Trojans are things that kind of trick you. So that Trojan or Trojan horse, that goes back to the old Trojan War story where the Greeks were losing this 10-year-long war, and they said that, hey, we concede, and they gave this big wooden statue, this big horse, that was something that they wanted. It was like a piece of software. It was that app that you didn't want to pay for. And they said, well, here, have it for free. And then at nighttime, there were some soldiers hidden inside there, or in your computer, there's some malicious code hidden inside of there. Open the gates, all the soldiers come in, all the attackers come in, and do damage, right? They ended up winning the war that way. Okay, so again, viruses are, it reproduces itself on the same computer, so that's when you're thinking of comparing these. They cannot automatically spread to another computer. So if you're trying to define something, is this a virus or a worm? If it can't spread without user interaction, without a user sending something through email or instant messenger, then it's a virus. And if it spreads it by itself, it's a worm, right? Some examples of virus actions can cause a computer to repeatedly crash, erase files or format a hard drive, turn off security settings, reformat drives, and delete files, things like that. Worms, they can also do some of the same similar actions, such as deleting files, and then really scary is allowing remote control or creating a backdoor, which I'll cover in just a moment. All right. And then so when we're talking about these types of malware, one of the goals of some of the malware is to conceal itself. So once your computer is infected, obviously if someone went through the trouble of trying to infect your computer, they're trying to do something. They're either trying to cause you some harm, some annoyances, take some information from you, change information, or steal financial related information. Right. So one of the first really dangerous ones that we'll talk about is a rootkit. So rootkits are especially dangerous because they, again, they really get down into the software, into the registry, and they get into operating system files and start changing parts of operating system files to embed themselves. So it's extremely difficult to get rid of. And so for our viruses, we have antivirus. So some free options are something like Avast or AVG. Some paid options are something like Symantec or Trend Micro is what the college uses, or McAfee, right? So those are some antivirus. Then you have, for things that aren't really a virus, you have anti-malware, such as Malwarebytes, Windows Defender, right? And then for the rootkits, those two products will not really handle the rootkits. What you're going to need for that is a rootkit revealer. So there's a couple of companies out there that create rootkit revealers to look for rootkits. Right? And some of those will collect data, ways that they can collect data through something called spyware. So what it does is it gathers information about your browsing history, things that you're interested in, files on your system, things like that. Another big danger one is a keylogger. So Keylogger is a piece of software or hardware that can be installed on a system. So if it's a hardware keylogger, it could be something that looks something like this. It would plug into the back of a USB drive, and then, so say this is my hand's computer, so I plug that in, and then I just plug my keyboard in. I actually happen to have an extra keyboard layer on here. And then this is sitting in the back of the computer. And how often do you look at the back of your computer? Probably not too often. I don't look at mine too often until I have keyboard issues, right? So these keyloggers can be extremely dangerous because they can capture all of your keystrokes. It can capture and record the actions that you're performing, your web history, and all of this information. It can either be stored on the local device, or more commonly, it's going to be stored either on your computer for the attacker to retrieve, or even better for the attacker, it's going to be sent to them remotely. Right? So you can see how a keylogger can be a dangerous piece of software or hardware. And typically once a keylogger is installed, it's not going to show up in your system tray or anything. You're not going to see this process running because, again, it wants to conceal itself while it collects data. Right? So to bring up the menu for a keylogger, it's usually some secretive combination of keys that you wouldn't normally press, like Control-Shift-P, Home, and that brings up the menu for the keylogger software. Right. Let's see. A less dangerous type of malware is called AddWeb. So AddWeb, it really involves just displaying ads to you. So it may be collecting data about, hey, you're interested in purchasing a new car, so you'll have tons and tons of advertisements for cars. AddWeb goes a little bit further than just your normal Google and Facebook collecting tons of information on us anyways, and it may start doing things like pop-ups and things like that. Now we'll talk about a really dangerous one, ransomware. So ransom is when someone kidnaps someone and holds them for usually money, right? Or for some sort of exchange. Ransomware for a computer is some sort of way your computer is infected and your files are taken, or not usually taken, but in the extreme cases where you don't have much choice, your files are all encrypted, and then you just get a display on your screen that says, hey, your files are encrypted, you're victim to this CryptoLocker or some variant of CryptoLocker where if you do not pay us, then you don't get your data back. And so right now, the encryption for these ransomware are extremely complex and extremely robust encryption. So in the past, the FBI has even said, hey people, if you want your data back, go ahead and pay these criminals. And so typically when you're paying the criminals, you're paying them with some sort of untraceable currency such as Bitcoin. And so you pay them and hope that the criminal is a upstanding criminal and that he returns you a key to unlock your data. The really only recourse you have if you get hit with ransomware is to either pay the data, let go of everything there, and just rebuild your computer, or if you have a backup that wasn't part of the encryption attack, then that's your last attack. That's your last option there. Then other things, you can have something called a logic bomb. That's something where there's some sort of code that someone has put on a system and it detonates or it goes off if a condition is or is not met. So that can be most likely if there's some sort of insider attack. So there's a network admin and he says, well, hey, I've got to have good job security here. If they screw me over, I'm going to screw them over. So he's got some batch file sitting on his desktop that if he doesn't go in there and disarm it every week, then it'll run and delete everything from the database. And so maybe he goes on vacation and the logic bomb detonates, or maybe you do fire him and then that logic bomb detonates. Let's see, and then we'll talk about just two more. So scareware is something that you're seeing a big rise in right now. Scareware it'll be just some sort of pop-up or banner ad, and it'll say that, hey, we've detected that you're doing some sort of bad action, and the FBI is on their way right now if you don't pay us, $50, or hey, your computer is infected, give us a call at this number and we can help you save your computer. And so really there's nothing on your computer in those instances. All you need to do is close the window. There might be tons of iframes where it keeps popping up or making it look like you can't do anything, but really just hit Alt F4 100 times until it closes out, or just restart the machine, and those go away. And then the last thing is kind of a command and control structure with zombies. So your computer's infected with something, it becomes part of a botnet army, and then attackers use your computer to launch attacks to other places. So they can either rent out or sell the use of your computer to other people, or they can control it themselves. Alright, so I think that is all that we need to cover for malware. Next up will be social engineering. Thanks.